Well, it's pretty bright there. All right, so I typically like to give everybody a few minutes before I get going here, so we'll wait a second or two. Remember, we're streaming on Facebook Live and on YouTube at the moment. All right, so let's begin, shall we? First of all, my name is Ken Johnson. I'm pretty sure you know that already, but I am the chief meteorologist at KAUZ News Channel 6 in Wichita Falls, Texas, just in case you didn't know, which I know you do, but anyway. So we're going to talk about a couple things here first. The number one thing we're going to talk about is still got a couple storms out there now, a couple little warnings up there, I believe, in some of the northern parts of the area, but it's just been for some small hail. There might have been some little small microbursts over there in maybe in Clay County, maybe in some parts, but yeah, nothing major. But it did look like that we saw some little down telephone poles over there, maybe something like that, south of Henrietta, but didn't look like anything major. There's been some little bouts of hail, but nothing major. So we'll talk about that. Plus, we'll kind of talk a little bit more about the another round of heavy rain tomorrow night. It'll break Sunday. And then we'll kind of talk a little bit about Monday. I'm not going to get too detailed into that yet. It's still a little bit early for that. But then we'll talk about what's beyond as we see some weather pattern change. So a little bit to talk about on this Friday evening. I don't know if we even got many people watching this. Looks like not a lot. But I don't expect a lot on a Friday evening. Let's face it, most of you have lives. Most of you are either maybe went out to dinner tonight, or maybe you're at home watching something on TV or something on one of those streaming platforms. In fact, I don't see anybody watching on YouTube right now. So, but what a wild week of weather it has been. You know, across our part of the world, we'll go periods where it doesn't rain at all for a long time. You know, some severe weather seasons come and go without hardly even a tornado watch or hardly even a thunderstorm, and which has kind of been the way it's been over the last, so many years. But now we are in kind of an active weather pattern. We still haven't seen, I'd say, a big severe weather outbreak over us. What we've been seeing is mostly just kind of localized stuff. Now, last Saturday night over there closer to I-35, that was an outbreak of severe weather. But over us anyway, we haven't seen that. We saw pretty significant tornado there in Tillman County. We've seen some there in Knox and Baylor County. Been some small stuff up in Cotton and in parts of Wichita County, but nothing major. So we've been lucky so far. Last Saturday had potential to be really bad, and it didn't get that way here. It just missed us. I still stand by yesterday. We had a chance to really get some rough storms too, and they just barely missed us to the southwest. But that's just kind of the way it is. It's just always hard. But I'm not complaining, but it's always hard to get the bullseye to be right on top of us here. It's just tough to get it. Always something seems to happen that keeps that from happening. So I know we don't have a lot of people watching this, so let's show you the radar here first. And here are the storms. They're mostly up north of Comanche County now. They were in Comanche County, and they've just been some hail producers. They're kind of up towards Chickasha. There's still a couple of showers either side of Lawton there, neither of which are severe. You can see the convective inhibition increasing on radar. We saw this little blue, all this blue color. That represents a stabilizing atmosphere. So the threat for thunderstorms is probably over with for the most part tonight. There is this band of thunderstorms passing north of us. And these thunderstorms, believe it or not, will have an impact on what happens to our weather here. So you've got a pretty good storm area kind of up here, and these may eventually merge with it. And I think this is going to shoot off some outflow boundaries later tonight that will kind of drop down to the south. And that could give us a shower chance maybe in the morning. Not a lot, but there could be some around. And then tomorrow afternoon, probably about like today, you'll probably see storms develop kind of the way it has been. You'll see some outflow boundaries around tomorrow afternoon. There'll be some storms maybe along those, but probably the majority of what you'll see will be along the dry line out here first, and then that'll tend to propagate in our direction. There's actually a disturbance tomorrow that's slipping through that should give us a better push of thunderstorms, and it could be some pretty good rainfall with that. So let's talk a little bit about tomorrow here first. So I have not looked at the HRRR for tomorrow. This is a pretty good computer model. That actually did a pretty good job handling those storms this evening. From time to time, it updates every hour, so time to time it's okay. Sometimes it's not. And then there, that line I was talking about, the outflow boundary dropping south, you can see it there. There along the Red River. See some showers north of us first thing in the morning. So there could be some showers. And somebody asked me if Bowie's going to get, well, I don't think you see a lot of rain, but there could be some around. But with that outflow boundary dropping to the south, you get some storms that get going down to our south first. And then here's tomorrow afternoon and evening. There's your afternoon, some thunderstorms, maybe even a couple supercells there, but some hail potential, nothing major. But then as we get towards tomorrow night, there's your larger area of rain coming in from the southwest. Now this looks like it could be some decent rainfall amounts with that, and it could result in some flooding. So I don't think that it's going to be a big severe weather event tomorrow, but there could be some flooding, and maybe even an afternoon strong thunderstorm or two, but nothing too major. But a little flooding certainly is possible with that, but we'll have to kind of wait and see how all that evolves. Yeah, maybe a situation where we just get some good downpours and just kind of moves on through. We may not get that. Then I think we see a break on Sunday. We can push this thing out further. And here we are in the Sunday morning and the Sunday afternoon. Even though the herd does have some little dots around, I mean, it's possible that we can get a shower or two with leftover outflow boundaries throughout the day, but I don't think we see a lot on Sunday. So with that said, still think we can see some decent rainfall amounts tomorrow night. Doesn't look like a big severe weather threat tomorrow, but some downpours are possible. And then we get to Monday, and now this part of the forecast to me is a little bit more uncertain. This setup here doesn't look like a classic severe weather setup to me, in my opinion. Not at least for us. The system's kind of compact, and it's kind of moving up into this direction here. That's where your best jet stream is located. So I bet you wind up with the best severe weather coverage probably up into this area here somewhere. Kansas, maybe northern parts of Oklahoma, maybe into southern Nebraska. That's probably where your bigger threat for severe weather will be there on Monday afternoon. So we're down to the south here, very humid conditions east of the dry line. You do have some decent wind shear down our way on the very, very bottom side of that storm center. So there could be some isolated thunderstorms that could try to pop up Monday afternoon, Monday evening. And with the amount of instability that should be in place, we should see at least a chance for some of those to be a bit on the strong side too. So we'll keep an eye on that for Monday. Of course, we'll have more information on that over the weekend. And then we can kind of push this out a little bit further in time and look at the jet stream here. There's that system I was talking about from Monday. You can see how the darker blues just kind of move by. It got a negative tilt to it. When it tilts back to the left like that, it's called a negative tilt, and that's usually when your storm systems are at their strongest. When they tilt negative like that, they really help pull the atmosphere up. But that's mostly passing north of us. And again, we're kind of on the bottom side of this. We do have some decent flow, and that should at least, if we can get some storms to go, and they probably would be severe. But we could wind up being capped too. It's not out of the question that we could get capped down here since the main energy is passing off to our northwest, so we may not see much. And then beyond that, kind of warm and dry for a few days. Then you get into late next week and the weekend, and you get a cooler air mass coming in from the north. So late next weekend, and you still might even see a little rain with that, but probably not like what we're seeing now. But there could be a period where it gets a bit cooler. Not unheard of. Month of May, we always see at least one little cool snap before it turns just downright hot with no fronts for the rest of the summer. So that's just how it goes. Quick look here at your 7-day forecast, and that shows the alert day for Monday. Just because there's that isolated threat, we'll update that and fine-tune that part of the forecast over the weekend to see, make sure it doesn't get too out of hand. And if it does trend further north like it possibly could, we'll drop that. We may come back a little bit on that. So we'll just have to wait and see how all that plays out. That's still a couple days away. Severe weather here is one of those things. Sometimes you don't know much about it until the day before. So anyway. Well, all right, that's really all I got. Time right now is 9:30. Let's see if you guys have anything to ask the old weatherman about. We can talk about anything if you want to. I don't care. We can talk about how good my hair is if you want to. Just kidding. Unless you want to talk about it, of course. So I do think, Teresa, that there's a good chance. I don't know if this is going to be the last of our severe weather, because we can get severe weather into June. We had some severe weather last year into June, but usually June is kind of a lower severe limit kind of month here. No, there's nothing to worry about in Duval. Nothing at all. Well, there's thunderstorms north. We got some good lightning. There's thunderstorms north of you now, but none of that. No rain for the rest of the night. And if I look down into Wise County, those could be some comments from earlier. I don't know. I may not be caught up yet on all that. Oh yeah, I see it now. There are some of those little leftover thunderstorms down there east of Decatur. They're dying now. They're not much to them moving through the Metroplex, but not much to those. Those are not severe, so nothing to be concerned about in Wise County or in the Metroplex for that matter. Who writes the script? All right, so that's a good question, Ty. I agree. I don't like that. That is most of that is automated. So I'll go in and I will put the forecast in myself on our app. I like it, and the numbers and all the forecasts and all stay. But for whatever reason, there may be a little bug in the system. I don't know, but for whatever reason, it puts in the wrong text. Now I can change that and lock it, but for whatever reason, it always reverts back when a new forecast comes out. That's automated stuff. So I'm not a big fan of that myself. It's contradicting. I don't like it. So really too early to say, Nate. It's possible, but it's too early to say. Yeah, you're fine. There's some thunderstorms. Well, actually, there's some storms around you, but nothing severe at the moment. Any strong storms are up north of you. So. Randy, yes, you can get severe weather 12 months a year, but I'm talking about organized severe weather. Usually occurs when you have some flow in the atmosphere, jet stream energy. It helps the thunderstorms and the updrafts, continue to pump in moisture. They don't collapse. When you have weak wind shear in the summertime, the thunderstorm tops collapse, so they don't last very long. So yeah, you can get severe weather, and we do get severe weather every month of the year. But there are other times of the year you're more concerned about it than others. And the time of the year we worry about it here is from late March through the early parts of June, and then maybe a couple months there in the fall, maybe a couple weeks there in the fall. When you get to winter, you don't worry about it as much because you don't have the instability then. You got the jet stream, but not the instability. Now in the southeastern part of the country, they still see severe weather. They probably see it more than we do because they get influences from the tropics, which can also lead to tornadic activity there. Only, there could be some showers and thunder showers around tomorrow, but I think your better chance for widespread rain will be tomorrow night, Victoria. Hard to say the way the rest of the month of May. I think we're going to see maybe a little bit of action early next week, Patsy, then a little break, and then we could maybe end it with a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to, Teresa. I'm having a hard time sleeping right now. I've developed a little insomnia, so it's going to be tough. All right, guys. Well, it's 9:34, and I'm about to jump off here. So I'm about to jump off here. So I'm going to, I don't think anything's going to rain you out. There could be a few little showers around tomorrow morning, but I think you'll be all right there in Cache. Fort Worth over the weekend, some pretty heavy rain and storms, perhaps tomorrow night and maybe tomorrow afternoon down that way. So, all right, guys, I am off, and you won't see me again on social media unless something breaks over the weekend. I may talk a little bit about Monday's event on Sunday. I may do a little something there. So, but I'm gonna try to stay off here and quit bugging y'all so much. Maybe give my Facebook page a bit of a break itself, because I think we all need it at this point. All right.